that this is an initiation and that it's going to test you in order to bring you to the next version of you. There's no framework for how to move through change. And if we had a framework that we knew where we were on the journey, that helped me no end to feel safe, to see that actually there's 3 phases to transition. So there's a letting go phase. There's not linear, of course. It moves it around and we journey back and forth and through. But it can more dynamically look at, okay, well, what am I letting go of? Who is it that I'm letting go of? And what does that mean? And as a perimenopausal, menopausal woman, that can be 40 plus years of your life. It's this really beautiful opportunity to bring awareness to the parts of us that we are releasing. And when we do it with mindfulness and awareness, it really helps our mental health. Mental health is one of the biggest things we hear about in perimenopause and menopause, the emotional kind of turmoil. And yes, it's partly to do with the change in hormones, but there's so many other layers to it.
And these changes, these transitions in ancient times were dealt with ceremony and with rites of passage. So that you alchemized what you've been through and you stepped into the next phase and then you stepped into the next. And we don't have that in our society. And like all these rites of passage that we haven't acknowledged. And at menopause, they will ask you quite loudly to be looked at, to be integrated, to be loved.
So that's, if we look at it just in a simple kind of framework, the letting go phase. And then in the middle, there's this liminal phase, which is when the kind of ground's shifting. You're no longer the old self and you're not yet the new self. And you
feel very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And, like we know, when we're uncomfortable, all our kind of patterns and habits and whether they're beneficial or not, that's when they all come up. So if we
sort of scramble for anything at that point to tether us to something,
it
becomes this like,
Whereas these kind of tools, they give us a sense of where we are. Okay, I'm in the liminal. I know I don't feel like anyone at the moment. I'm not sure who I am, but I can be with this feeling. It's about how do we use mindfulness and the practices to just be with where we're at rather than trying to avoid them. So these are the ways that to learn how to tend to ourselves in the moment so that we can stay present and as anchored as we possibly can as we change. Because the third phase is this new beginning and it's this new self who's trying to come online. And I don't know if you can kind of think back to other times in your lives where you've gone through a major transitional rite of passage, maybe what that felt like of when that new version was trying to come alive. And what did it like? Did she kind of? It's like she just kind of like comes in and you get an energy of like this expansion of like, ooh, like what's possible, and then she kind of disappears again, and then you go back into the liminal space or the letting go, and then you get these little moments of ooh again, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And if we know the tools then to focus that 90% on the future of okay, I'm open to her coming in, I'm open to what she's here to show me. I'm probably going to have to change some of my ways or something. She's showing us like here she is. Here's the possibility. Here's the opportunity. Are you going to take it? And in a way, she'll come in, rain, hail, or shine. Like, you know what the universe is like. Like it's a tap, then it's a nudge, then it's a whack. And it's like how can we learn to deeply listen to what the messages are that are trying to come through?